This car copped the brunt of one neighbour's fury. It was around 10:30 last night when a long-running neighbourhood dispute on Wright Road turned violent.
Come outside, jumped in my car in, gone and ripped it up the road. Nice big burnout, and then we've had some crazy old bastard from down the road come and shoot at us pretty much. Pumped two into my windscreen, one into the radiator, one into the bumper, and then one into the house. One at me while I was on the deck.
A 61-year-old man who lives two doors up had had enough of 23-year-old Shane Tenhagas and his hooning ways.
Was he saying anything to you?
You mother think you're deadly? And that's it. That's all he said, and then he's just shot everything in sight.
Shane chased the neighbour home, but that's when it took a nastier turn. Shane claims the neighbour pointed and fired a bullet at him.
You decided to chase him?
Yeah, I did.
Why's that?
I had a kid inside here. I was going to belt the shit out of him too and come up here and shoot my house while I got kid inside. That's just unacceptable. Even though we did a burnout, it's still unacceptable.
Shane's 2-year-old had been sleeping. His partner was also in the house.
What was going through your head when your car's getting fired?
What a what a Fruitloop. Who does this, you know? That's Fruitloop. Yeah. Honestly. I got no car now.
Shane copped a wound to his toe, but no serious injuries. The car and its contents a little more worse for wear.
They might be crash resistant, but they definitely ain't bulletproof.
Neighbours have told 9 News that burnouts are constantly being performed along this street, and they understand why the 61-year-old man finally exploded.
We got a lot of traffic coming down here. We've got kids and school buses and animals, so now I can understand why people are getting a bit annoyed.
But Shane says he's not the only culprit.
Burnouts happen out here all the time. It's a regular thing. It's not me. It's not just me. There's a lot of young people out here that do it, and I'm getting shot.
And it's not the first time Shane's hobby has put him in the firing line. Only last week, his floodlight copped a bullet from the same disgruntled neighbour.
They're ringing me up going, there's someone here shooting the house. And then I came back to no window and the floodlight blown.
Why did he do it that time?
Mate did a burnout outside.
A fad that's sure to live on in this street. Police have arrested the 61-year-old man, but he's yet to be charged. Hannah Dawkins, 9 News.
Alright guys, so let's break down this video.
This car copped the brunt of one neighbour's fury.
So she said to cop the brunt of a neighbour's fury. To cop the brunt of something is to receive or to bear the larger amount of something, and it's negative. So for example, Dad yelled at both of us, but Pete copped the brunt of his anger. So that would be like Dad mostly yelled at poor Pete, but I got away with it and didn't get too much of his anger. I didn't cop the brunt of it, Pete copped the brunt of it.
This car copped the brunt of one neighbour's fury.
Jumped in my car in, gone and ripped it up the road.
Then the guy says jumped in me car and went and ripped it up the road. So that just means to drive recklessly up the road, to rip it up the road. So to drive really recklessly, do burnouts. And for example, you could say, after Dad finished yelling, he got in his car, ripped it up the road. So it would be like Dad got in his car and drove really dangerously up the road.
Jumped in my car in, gone and ripped it up the road. Crazy old bastard from down the road come and shoot at us pretty much. Yeah.
Then the guy says that crazy old bastard from down the road. Crazy old bastard, that's just a derogatory way of saying crazy old man. So for example, the neighbours thought that Dad was a crazy old bastard.
Crazy old bastard from down the road come and shoot at us pretty much. Yeah. Pumped two into my windscreen.
And then he's talking about where the neighbour shot his car, and he says to pump. He pumped two into me windscreen, or two into my windscreen. So to pump here just means to shoot, and I think he's referring to a shotgun that you would pump in order to get a bullet into the chamber, like a pump action shotgun. So for example, one of the neighbours pumped a few gunshots into the air.
Pumped two into my windscreen, one into the radiator, one into the bumper, and then one into the house.
You'll hear there that he refers to the bumper bar of his car as a bumper. We often use that in Australian English, just calling it the bumper. And this is just that protective bar on the front of a vehicle. So, for example, Dad recently got a new bumper on his car.
Pumped 2 into my windscreen, 1 into the radiator, 1 into the bumper, and then 1 into the house.
A 61-year-old man who lives 2 doors up.
Then you hear the reporter say he lives 2 doors up, and you'll often hear this up or down the road. So if someone lives 2 doors up the road, they live 2 houses up the road. And I guess they're referring to the houses as doors, as in front doors. So 2 doors up is two houses up the road, 2 houses along the street. 2 doors down is 2 houses down the road. So for example, some new neighbours moved in 2 doors up. Or you could say 2 doors up the road.
A 61-year-old man who lives 2 doors up had had enough of 23-year-old Shane Tenhagas and his hooning ways.
To hoon, or hooning ways. To hoon is a verb that just means to drive recklessly. So, for example, our neighbours are real hoons and they like hooning around in their cars. So they like driving recklessly.
And his hooning ways. Shane chased the neighbour home, but that's when it took a nastier turn.
To take a nasty turn means to get much worse, to suddenly become a lot worse. So, for example, Dad asked the neighbours not to hoon around in the streets, and things took a nasty turn when he started yelling. So the idea there would be, once Dad started yelling, things got a lot worse. So maybe the neighbours got violent, they got incredibly angry, things took a nasty turn because they got a lot worse.
But that's when it took a nastier turn.
I had a kid inside here. I was going to belt the shit out of him too and come up here and shoot my house while I got a kid inside.
I was going to belt the shit out of him. This means to beat someone, to bash someone, and in order to sort of emphasise this and make it even more extreme, you can say to belt, to beat, to bash the shit out of someone. So it's ruder and it's more extreme, but you can say, yeah, to belt someone, to beat someone, to bash someone, meaning to hit them or to really, really hurt them in a fight. And if you want to make it more extreme, you can say to beat the shit out of them. So, for example, we were afraid that Dad was going to belt the shit out of the neighbours.
I was going to belt the shit out of him too and come up here and shoot my house while I got a kid inside.
What was going through your head when...
Then the reporter asks the guy what was going through his head. What was going through his head? And to go through your head is to think about something. So thinking about thoughts that are going through your head. We use that quite a lot in English. So for example, who knows what was going through the neighbour's head, but they were scared. So it's who knows what they were thinking about, but they were scared.
What was going through your head when your car's getting fired?
What Fruitloop? Who does this, you know? That's Fruitloop.
Then he says, a Fruit Loop? What a Fruit Loop? Talking about the neighbour being crazy. A Fruit Loop is just a way that Australians will refer to someone who is out of their mind, insane, crazy.
What Fruitloop? Who does this, you know? That's Fruitloop.
Shane copped a wound to his toe, but no serious injuries.
Then they say that this guy copped a wound to his toe. To cop something in English, to cop something is to get or receive something, and it's usually in a negative way. So if you cop something, it's like it's unwanted. You've got it, you've received it, but you didn't want it.
Shane copped a wound to his toe. The car and its contents a little more worse for wear.
The reporter then uses the phrase to be worse for wear, talking about the stuff that had been shot inside of the car. So to be worse for wear means to be damaged or worn through use. So for example, after the neighbours did a few burnouts, their car tyres were a bit worse for wear. So they're worse because they've been worn, because of the wear, because they've been doing burnouts and damaging the tyres. So the tyres were a bit worse for wear.
The car and its contents a little more worse for wear. And it's not the first time Shane's hobby has put him in the firing line.
To put someone in the firing line, this is to put someone in a position where they are criticised or in danger. So, for example, Dad was trying to protect us and make sure we weren't in the firing line.
And it's not the first time Shane's hobby has put him in the firing line.
Mate did a burnout outside.
A burnout. And if you haven't got this already, a burnout is the practice of keeping a vehicle stationary while spinning the wheels. So often you'll see a car, the front wheels have used the brake, so they're not moving, and the back wheels are spinning on the spot. And a lot of smoke is coming out, there's a lot of noise. That's a burnout. And you often see those two streaks of black marks on the road. So for example, the burnouts covered the road in black lines.
Mate did a burnout outside.
So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. I hope it helps you improve your Australian English and understanding strong Australian accents. And I'll see you in the next one. Catch ya.